Introducing Upper Deck ePack. Collect your favorite NHL players. More than just digital cards, but real cards that you can have mailed directly to you. Trade with fans from around the world. Get a free pack every day. Only on UpperDeckEPack.com.
Upper Deck Player Spotlight time here on the fourth period. David, brought to you as always by our very good friends over at Upper Deck. A couple of players, one asked for a trade earlier in the season, and then he kind of turned the season right around, and we'll start with Jake DeBrusk.
Yeah, he's third on the Boston Bruins in goals with 22 so far on the season. And he hasn't changed his mind. And that message was kind of clear because he thought he was going to, and hoped he was going to be dealt by the deadline. But now that hasn't happened, he's fully focused on helping the Boston Bruins compete for a Stanley Cup, which is obviously the right mentality to have. But they'll figure out all that hoopla stuff in the offseason. But he has been a big contributor, providing secondary scoring for this club. Although, like I said, third on the team in goals with 22. But he's been a big contributor for this club. He stepped up in top-line minutes when the Bruins needed to rejig their roster around a little bit and kind of get back on track. But he's been a big component for them, and he will certainly, if he continues this, up his trade value going into the summer.
You mentioned one player, and Jake DeBrusk looking to help his team compete for a Stanley Cup. This guy's got 2 Stanley Cup rings already under his belt, looking to get his team into the Stanley Cup playoffs, and that's Dustin Brown of the LA Kings.
Yeah, you know what, Irf? This is a guy, he just came back from injury earlier this week, put up 2 assists in his first game back against Chicago. And yeah, his primary focus right now, help this team get back into the Stanley Cup playoffs. Their schedule eases up leading into May, leading into the postseason. They actually have one of the easiest schedules, which can usually lead to some trap games. But LA is focused on making the postseason, and Dustin Brown knows what it takes to get there. He is a true playoff performer for his team. He's a UFA at the end of the season, so in the back of his mind, I guess to a certain extent, he's figuring out his future. Is he going to continue with his playing career or not? But right now, the focus primarily, help his team make the playoffs. He had a good spurt on Tuesday against Colorado on Wednesday. The whole team just floundered, so forget about that. But it's smooth sailing ahead. They got to focus on the playoffs, and Dustin Brown's the guy to do that.
Yeah, you mentioned an easy schedule or easier. Not one of the remaining opponents for the LA Kings is in a playoff position, so it will be interesting to see what happens with Dustin Brown and the Kings. Obviously, David, thank you very much for this in our Upper Deck Player Spotlight here on the fourth period, brought to you by Upper Deck.